seems, you run your own small business, you have a small business, and it seems like a lot of the Democratic platforms express themselves as anti-business somehow. You know, and as a matter of fact, I just briefly looking at the party platform, and it doesn't really seem to talk about, you know, what we do in terms of support for small business, you know, job creation, jobs. So I'm just wondering what your comments might be on what is the messaging we should be putting out for support for business, and how do we not present ourselves as an anti-business party?
Well, they've gotten away with painting us as an anti-business party, the Republicans, and we've let them do that, I think. In New Mexico, certainly up in the legislature, sometimes you get that feeling that they've gotten away with painting us that way when you listen to some of the debate. But I can tell you that that's the farthest thing from the truth as far as I'm concerned. I personally do own a couple of small businesses, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So when they talk about, the important thing is small businesses create the most of the jobs out there. They truly do. But yet we don't point out all the good things that we do as Democrats when it comes to businesses. And I think we've done a lousy job of that. And I think we should do better. But we can't let them get away with it when they label us anti. That's number one. They say they're anti-business because they have regulations. No, we should be the party talking about building this economy in New Mexico, a green economy, creating tremendous amounts of jobs when it comes to creating new alternative resources. And we have done a lousy job at it. I would agree with you that we've let them get away with it. We certainly let them get away with it at the national level. And by the way, one more thing, just if I can touch on that. The Republicans have also gotten away with now, which I find disheartening, this whole concept and idea that they are the party of less government. Yet they want to be in our bedrooms, okay? They want to tell us when and what we can't do all the time. They've never seen a law. They don't want to make a new crime. They continually build more government, and again, we let them get away with that. We've also, and I think sometimes we do a better job than not, but we let them say that we are weak on defense. We're not weak on defense. We're just strong also on diplomacy. And that's something that we never get across, that we are absolutely strong on defense. But we don't ignore our veterans, the Democratic Party, when they come back home. And we want to continue to give all the necessary resources for our veterans. But yet, they've gotten away with saying somehow we're weak, but yet they don't ever want to agree to funding for our veterans after they pay the ultimate sacrifice, some of them, and some of them come back wounded. So the Republicans have gotten away with painting that broad stroke. Yet when we come back to issue by issue, we win. And that's what we need to do.
Is there anyone that hasn't asked a question that would like to get one in? Okay, great.
Yeah, maybe I could just ask real quick about race and place.
I'm sorry, what?
Race and place, maybe I'll call it. So in this past election, I know that some would say race was an issue when you look at, say, the governor's candidates. And I'm wondering, what would be your ability as state party chair to help overcome those who want to vote based on race, or to bring people back to the party, or to even field candidates that might be more reflective of the racial and ethnic demographics of the state? But then the question I'd ask about place is that, of course, we're diverse, spread across the state, and one of the criticisms I understand of the party chair this last election cycle was that he probably wasn't in very many places until after the election when it came to listening to what people had to say. Given your commitment to your job and wanting to be party chair at the same time, how would you get to all of those places as well as deal with this thorny issue of race?
Well, let's first talk about the place, and we'll deal with the race. The place, I went to 11 counties in 2 days in the 2nd Congressional District. Traveled 1,700 miles. I met with 11 county chairs or their representatives during that time frame. You could cover this state. You just got to work hard. There's time to do it. You can go out there and do it. If you are well planned, well organized, and set your meetings up to make sure that you're in every county you could possibly be in, you have that opportunity. It just takes hard work and good planning. I have Mr.
Airplane
Davis, so,
helps.
what's that?
An airplane helps too.
No, I'm not talking about airplanes. But I have a couple of people who are helping me, and Robert and Mike Davis, who do great planning and get me out and make sure that I am out everywhere I could possibly be and covering as much ground as possible and meeting with as many people as possible. You shouldn't have dead time. You should be meeting with people. So I don't think there's a problem with that. Now, as far as you say, you believe that some people, are you specifically referring to, you think that maybe Hispanics voted for Governor Martinez because her last name is Martinez? Was that the impetus of this?
That's one example.
And it's a fair question.
I knocked on plenty of doors where I met Hispanic Democrats who told me, yeah, I'm going to vote for Heinrich and I'm going to vote for Martinez.
Right.
They had no problem splitting the ticket.
Right. And we had way too much of that. And I think, quite frankly, that comes back to what I said earlier. We didn't give them a reason to vote for our governor candidate enough. I mean, some people are always may vote that way. But I don't think that's the majority of Democrats. I don't think that is even a big minority of Democrats. I think if we give our message and we run a campaign that they're getting it and they're hearing it, I think we will get their vote. If we give them a reason to vote for a candidate, that's what we have to do. They didn't have I don't think there was enough of a message. And it's not an attack on Diane Dennis, but I don't think we gave in that campaign enough of a reason